Buddy, I'm glad you're here and happy Monday. I I was working away on the computer and Andrea comes down and she says, "Your live show starts in like 10 minutes." I'm like, "I totally forgot." It's great to have somebody to remind you. Anyway, I've been running around trying to get all the pictures ready because I forgot to download them. And before we get to that, I was digging around. I was cleaning out the garage. I was cleaning out our shed we have kind of under our back stairs, and then some storage under the stairs. And I said, "Look at this stuff I found. Look at that beautiful truck. That's from my childhood, a transport. I would fill that up with all my toy cars. It's kind of a keepsake, right?" And check this out. This is a Matchbox carrying case for all your toy cars when you were a kid. And this was full. And I had them all from when I was a kid. And then Andrea said, "Well, why don't you let the kids play with them?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea." And then what happened was, kids started trading for my old cars for their crap new cars. So I came home one day and they said, "What happened to all the cars?" And like half of them were traded away. So anyway, yeah, you got to put it. Hang on a sec. Just realized I should probably put a car on there. That looks better. All right, let's get into our pictures. First of all, this is Barry, who I missed last week, and thanks for sending it again. He's got a 2010 Acura TL, lives in Montreal. Interesting that you should send this through because this week I have the Acura TLX. And first impressions of the TLX, I think it looks really good. It's got a nice interior. So the video for that is going to be dropping on Saturday. Andrea and I are going to be shooting that in the next couple of days. And this is Richard from Medicine Hat. Not a bad garage, huh? He's got a BMW X3 M40 with the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine. And then he's got a Z4 with the same engine. It's actually a higher horsepower engine than is in the X3. So that's a really nice garage. And he has a picture of just the Z4. And he said he liked the video I did with Jack when we were down in Seattle last year going for a Seahawks game, which was a lot of fun. And this is Fernando and Christina from New York with their, sorry, not Acura, I was going to say Acura, their Honda Civic hatchback sport manual transmission, saving the manuals. So good for them. Great choice. It is, in my opinion, it is a better car with the manual transmission. All right. What do we have to do? We have to get a plug for Car Cost Canada, get your questions in, and sign up when you get a moment. The promo code is MotorMouth. Use that and become an expert member. Okay? Let's get into the questions. Barrick. Oh, come in, Jack.
There you go.
There you go.
For you.
Who's winning the Bills game?
It already happened.
I know. Is it still on?
Well, we can. I don't have my phone.
Yeah, go check. Go check.
Hey
with
Google, what's the score on the Bills game? They're not saying.
Okay, come back when you get it.
Come back when I get it?
Yeah, come back when you get it. I got work to do, man. Thanks for the beer. All right. Looking to buy a new Japanese hatchback, either a new Corolla hatch or Civic hatch, both with manuals. Saw your review of the Civic hatch. Which is a better car in your opinion? If you're talking about base model to base model, I think it's a bit of a push between the two. The fact that the Corolla is offered a manual. The Civic, in my opinion, is probably just a little bit bigger. I think they're both right around 147 horsepower. So if you're talking about the higher performance version of the Civic hatch, the one that we drove with 100 and... Sorry, I take it back. It's 174 horsepower for the base hatchback, and it's 147 for the Corolla hatchback. So if it's just based purely on horsepower, then it's going to be the Civic. Sorry, I was confusing it with the regular sedan. What's the score?
26-17 Chiefs. And it was pouring rain.
In where? Kansas City?
I think it was in Buffalo.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
That's that.
If you have is it a final?
Yeah.
Oh,
over.
okay.
So
Well, there you go.
Well,
Can't have everything. Where would you put it?
no. What?
I said you can't have everything.
Yes,
Where would you put it?
Yes. All right.
Thanks, Jack. this is a follow-up on the same thing about the video that dropped on Saturday. About your Honda review on Saturday, VWs are reliable, just more expensive to maintain. I have a 9-year-old Jetta, never broke down. Bring it twice a year for service, 89,000 miles, no rattles either. It's quite interesting because Andrew and I took opposite views on the Civic hatchback. There's the Civic hatch. I took GTI, and the reason why I took GTI is so the car we were driving here was the Touring. Top model, it was like $32,000. I said, well, for that kind of money, you can buy a GTI. It's got almost 50 more horsepower. If you're going to get it with an automatic, it's got a dual clutch. So for me, it was, what do you get for your money? And I thought GTI. Andrea took the Civic based just on the history of Honda being more reliable. I don't think that's exactly true anymore. I don't think Hondas are reliable as they used to be. They're still very reliable cars, but not as reliable as they used to be. And I had a lot of people commenting saying, I've owned a Volkswagen for many years and have had no trouble with it. And it seems to be that way. It's either you have a whole heck of a lot of problems or you just drive them and it's nothing to worry about. I'm with you. I called it the misery index. So it's the pleasure you get from driving the car, the misery that maybe trips to the dealership cause you, and right in the middle is it worth it to have the fun and put up with a little bit of misery in order to drive the car? And for me, it would be not an issue. I would hands down get the GTI. But as we talked about, Andrew and I, when we were out walking the dog, if you're somebody that doesn't you're just barely able to afford the car, you don't want any extra bills, and it's you're risk averse, the Honda is going to be a better buy. Bruce, there are 3 different powertrains rumored for the new Sorrento. Is that one too many? Something a 4,000-pound vehicle. Well, the 2 that I know of are there's a turbo. I'm trying to remember. I did the video of it not that long ago. Yeah, the V6 is gone. So yes, you've got the base 2.5 liter, and then you've got the turbocharged engine, and then probably a hybrid system, which is going to be the third one. What's the most financially smart way to own a premium German car? Friends told me to buy a 2-year-old and sell one as 5-year-old. Do you agree? Well, this is where something like Car Cost Canada is going to help you out. So when you can buy a certified pre-owned car, so a typical premium car warranty, original warranty is 4 years. When the car is certified, it gets you up to 6 years from the date it went in service. So if you're buying a 2-year-old car, then you still have 4 years of comprehensive warranty. So yes, you can buy a car that's 2 years old, that's come off lease, and then you can release it. Typically, BMW is pretty aggressive with releasing their used cars. That's one way to do it. But typically, when you're leasing a used car, the interest rates are higher. The residual values at the end are not as favorable. So you often get a penalty when it comes to how much you're paying every single month. So look at some used 2-year-old used cars. Make sure that they come with a certified pre-owned warranty and lease it for 3 years as a used car. So look at what those numbers are. And then go back and look at the brand new car, the same thing. A 3-year lease, the lease values, and it's almost going to be about the same. I would almost predict that it's going to be about the same price for the brand new car. So for a lot of people, when they're buying their very first import car or German car, it's all about knowing what your monthly payments are. Most people don't buy a car. Most people buy a payment. So if you're comfortable with the payment and you can make the payments and the car is under warranty, that's the best way to buy your first German car. Okay? It really is. But run the numbers on a 2-year-old car to lease and a brand new car to lease. It bugs me when people shift to R or D in an auto car before it comes to a complete stop, and then they slam it into gear. Well, this damaged the gearbox, especially dual clutch. So what you're talking about is when you're driving and you find a parking spot, and then you're not fully stopped, and then you put it into reverse, and then when you're backing up, then you put it into drive, and yeah, that's not good for a transmission. You should really stop the car. This is what I do. is when I'm rolling up to a parking spot and I want to reverse in, I put the car into neutral because you can just slap it forward. It won't go past. It won't go past neutral. Slap it forward into neutral. Car stops, and then you engage reverse. And then the same thing. Pop it into neutral when the car stops, then go into drive. It's just a habit thing, but you see people doing that all the time, like doing a 3-point turn. They turn the wheel, then they slam it into reverse, and they're going the other way, and then they slam it into drive before the car's stopped. Isn't good for the transmission, dual clutch or not. For ride comfort, X3 M40 or GLC 43 AMG. Yeesh, this is... If it's ride comfort you're after, neither of these would be my top pick. I mean, these are the performance versions of these cars. The AMG cars, in my opinion, have become very sharp over the last little while. So what you really need to do is go and drive them and see what you like for yourself and try the different adaptive settings. So whether it's comfort and what have you. The X3 will probably be, for the last time I checked, on run flat tires, which are harder and less forgiving, which will get more vibration and harshness into the cabin. But the new AMG cars have become quite a bit stiffer. So it's going to be one of those A-B comparisons for you to try for yourself. Off the top of my head, I don't think, it would be an SQ5 would be the smoothest, not those two. Best 3-row SUV under $60,000. It really is probably the most bang for your buck is the Acura MDX. I'm not sure if you saw the MDX video that dropped last week. Basically, it was the concept showing us what it's going to look like. It looks really good. It looks like a bigger version of the RDX. So here's where we're going to be into a sweet spot if you're looking for a deal. Same thing again. That's why Car Cost Canada is your friend. Use the promo code MotorMouth, become an expert member, and you're going to be able to see month after month deals on an Acura MDX. And then you're going to see discounts and interest rate reductions and so on as they're trying to sell down the inventory of the existing model before the new one arrives. So as we get closer to the new one coming sometime in the spring, then you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. You can look at the new one and say, do I really want to spend the money and have the newest and the greatest? Or am I going to get a really good deal, like thousands and thousands of dollars off an MDX, and just enjoy the fact that I save a bunch of money? It's kind of up to you. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do that. Smash the thumbs up. It'd be great. 17 or 18 Cherokee Trailhawk. What's your opinion of it as a used vehicle? I don't really follow that particular model too much as a used vehicle. It's interesting you mentioned this. Same thing, out walking the dog this morning, and I walked by one. A guy was getting out of it, and I was thinking, that's a vehicle that doesn't often pop to mind when you're considering the competitors in the compact utility space. But it's quite a unique vehicle in the fact that the Cherokee offers many different engine choices, many different all-wheel drive systems, probably the most adept all-wheel drive system for a non-premium vehicle. You could go into a Land Rover Discovery Sport, arguably a better all-wheel drive system, but probably not. And then the Trailhawk is going to give you the trail-rated all-wheel drive, especially I believe it's the rock crawling component that you get added on that particular one, plus the skid plates. So if you're using it for a situation where you need to have the extra ground clearance, maybe you drive on rough roads, you go to a cabin regularly, it's not a bad way to go. But as it comes to reliability, I don't have anything to offer other than that. Silly side comment. Not sure if you've ever watched Marrying Millions, but you look exactly like the person in the show. Related? No. I'm going to look that up right now. Marrying Millions? Let me see. Marrying Millions.
Here is some information about Marrying Millions. Take an incredible...
Marrying Millions. I look exactly like the guy from Marrying Millions. Well, it seems like they have a lot of different people on there. Anyway, I'll have to check that out. What are your thoughts on Lucid Air Tesla Model S threat? Elon Musk is true fashion responded with a drop of the price of the in order to undercut the Lucid. Thanks. Well, I don't really follow that vehicle, to be honest with you, that closely. I know it's out there, but other than that, I really don't know much about it. There's going to be a whole slew of these micro electric brands trying to take a run at Tesla, who has 80% market share of the electric car market in the U.S., but the electric car market in the U.S. has actually been shrinking over the last couple of years. And it all comes down to incentives. So the Model S isn't selling well, which is the one you're talking about. The Model S isn't selling well. The Model X isn't selling well. And my prediction is the Model 3 is going to suffer sales because now really what everybody wanted was a compact utility. Now they have the Model Y. So all those people in the last 2 years that rushed out and bought a Model 3, it's really a placeholder car. People are buying compact utility vehicles. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the resale value of those. But there's going to be so many electric cars coming in the next 24 to 36 months that it's going to be interesting to watch. I really don't have anything else to say about that. Oh, there we go. Stefan is saying, yeah, Kansas City won against my Bills. Bills started out strong in the season. Hey, Zach, what do you think about the Lakers won the NBA championship? Well, pretty stacked team. I like this. Welcome all Motormouthians. That is a mouthful, all you Motormouthians. Cheers. Josh is back. Hey, Josh, nice to see you from Montreal. Did you ever think cars have become too fast for the average person to buy? 911 Turbo or Tesla 3 even is so fast that it can be dangerous for the average driver. How can someone access if they are capable? Well, certainly there. A Sienna minivan is more powerful than a 911 original Turbo. I looked these numbers up years ago. Can't remember what the number was when the 911 Turbo first came out. But a Sienna minivan has more power than that. Now, cars are much more capable, traction, stability control, all the safety aids. But the interesting thing about having a powerful car, and the reason why I think a lot of these Tesla videos are kind of nonsense when they just do straight acceleration, you rarely ever use your straight acceleration on a car that often, like maximum acceleration. Just think in your daily driving, how often are you using absolutely the most power you can from your car? Most people use a fraction of the vehicle's power. You have it in reserve. You want to pass a truck on a twisty road. You see a little opening, you can get by them. That's why I like powerful cars. Torque is king, but I don't see a lot of hooligans out in Model 3s. There's loads of Model 3s in Vancouver, and I don't see people acting kind of crazy with them. I think people just have it, and if they need it once in a while, I think people are pretty, for the most part, have a lot of common sense. Hey, Zach, did Honda CR-V fix the oil dilution fuel problem, or have they changed to a new engine? This engine is the same. Speaking to the product expert here at the local zone office last year when I picked up the NSX, I asked him this particular question. So this is the guy that goes around and trains people at the dealerships. I asked him, I said, where are we at with this? And he said there have been changes to the way that they program the car for the warm-up cycle. So this oil dilution situation with the 1.5 liter engine is really affected by cold weather and also by short driving. So if you drive your car for 5 minutes and then you switch it off, that is where you get a lot of the problems. If you're driving your car for a long period of time, that's an issue. Now, there were issues with the 1.5 liter in that they took a long time to warm up. People who live in Quebec and cold parts of the country would say they would drive their car for half an hour and it never really got that warm inside the cabin. So they've changed the programming of the engine and the thermostat to bring the operating temperature of the engine up faster, which helps with the oil dilution and with internal cabin temperature. But it's only been about a year since I heard that, so we'll have to wait and see. But the engine is the same. GTI is a great car, very reliable. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear if you've got one and how it's been for you. Oh, here's a good question. When's the next time Motoring TV is coming to film in La Belle Provence? Well, I am going to be in not La Belle Provence, but right next door in Ontario next week. So I'm going to be in Ontario driving the GV80 from Genesis, the new SUV. Also, I'm getting a chance to drive the G80 mid-size sedan while I'm there. And we're shooting a segment for Motoring TV with the new Kia K5, but not in the province of Quebec. But a beautiful time of year to be in Canada with the fall colors. Yeah, all the road trips are pretty much ground to a halt. So this is my second trip away from the house in 8 months, where I used to go, if you follow along, almost every single week. But last year, around this time, maybe a little bit earlier, October, we were in Quebec City, and we drove up to the St. Lawrence to do whale watching. We were with Lincoln with the Aviator in the fall colors. Oh, just absolutely gorgeous. Do you think Ford will bring the Everest to North America that is based on the Ranger platform? Anything is possible. They're the only ones that would know. Hey, Zach, looking at the XC30 or waiting for the Taos, I imagine the Taos will have more space than Mazda for work commute and weekend trips for two. Thoughts on a 2-year lease on Tiguan XC30? Well, the Taos is not going to be that far away, Cole. If you're not in a rush, there's absolutely no harm. If you've got a vehicle that works for you now, there is no harm in waiting. If you're interested with the Taos, the XC30 is going to be available with the turbo engine for next year sometime. I'm not sure on the timing on that. The Taos in the set that it's kind of competing against is one of the more powerful vehicles. Plus, it's going to have the dual clutch transmission, which makes it a bit appealing. It's going to be on the bigger side, so much bigger, probably quite sizably bigger than the XC30. But yeah, what you can do and what I would do if you're really interested in the Taos is just wait until the spring when it comes, and then you can see for yourself. What's going to be a better long-term ownership, Porsche Cayman 981 base or BMW M2 base? Porsche, all day long, all day long. The resale value on Porsches is crazy. So if you watch the channel regularly, you see the videos that I do, and my friend at Core Motor Cars lends me the cool cars he has in his inventory, and he gets a lot of. He's a Porsche specialist, really. He gets some really nice Porsches, and talking with him about Porsches. It's just like he says the prices in Canada are not dropping because there's not any inventory. So when the dollar was stronger, a lot of cars would come up from the United States. Now with the dollar being weak, none of those cars are arriving. So the only cars that are used and available in the marketplace really are the existing cars that were purchased here brand new, and it's a very small finite number of vehicles, so the values of them are really quite strong. And Porsche's, having owned 4 of them, the resale value is really second to none. Hello from Oakville. Saw a 2020 Cadillac Escalade SUV preview and heard they are also bringing a diesel version. I thought diesel was going away. No, all of the full-size trucks from General Motors, where it's the Tahoe, what are all the Suburban, the Yukon, that whole family of vehicles, all available with the 3-liter diesel engine. And if I was buying a Lincoln, if I was buying an Escalade and towing with it or doing a lot of driving with it, it would be a pretty compelling story to get the diesel engine, because it's the perfect engine for trucks. You get all the torque and you get amazing fuel economy. And so for vehicles like, from what I understand, for vehicles like the Denali, the 6.2 liter and the diesel will be sort of like the same price to upgrade to those engines. Hi, best size half-ton pickup truck on the market, not looking for fully loaded, so say mid-level trims. I think that it's maybe worth waiting to see what the new Ford F-150 looks like. I've only seen pictures of it. To drive it might be interesting. I'm a big fan of the Ram. I just think that the interiors are so much nicer than a lot of the competition. The General Motors trucks are fantastic. There's really not a bad one in the bunch. I think the Ford F-150, in my opinion, the interior is not as strong as the others. Now they have updated it for 2021, so it does look a little bit better. I had the Silverado diesel not that long ago, and I really quite enjoyed it. So you got to get out there and try them. I do like the diesel engines, but they're expensive for as an upgrade. Best all-round compact SUV. Does this go to Forester? No, I say it goes to RAV4. I really do. I think Forester with the continuously variable transmission, or the Mazda CX-5 is another great choice. But no, not with a continuously variable transmission. Hey, here's the fellow that sent in the picture of his. Let me find it again. I just purchased a Sport Wagon manual transmission. We're satisfied with the sporty feel and we recommend it. Well, dude, I put your picture up a minute ago. There it is. There is your car. Let me do it again. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that's I'm in the wrong overlay. Oh, jeez, I've gone and lost it now. Sorry, guys. What have I done? I hate this program sometimes. Okay, let me find it again. Pictures. No, that's another Fernando. There we go. I got it now. There it is. Wow, that took a long time. That was a lot of work to get that. All right, there's Fernando and Christina. And here's the question again. My wife and I purchased the Civic Sport Sedan with manual transmission. We're surprisingly satisfied with sporty feeling of it. We recommend it. Thanks. Well, it's a great car. I do agree with you with the manual transmission. It is the car I would choose if I was going to get a manual in the hatchback. It's the transmission I would choose if I was going to get a Civic hatchback. I don't think the CVT in the sort of more performance-oriented does it any favors. Benjamin is saying, just bought CX-30 Premium, first SUV. Love it. Congratulations. All right, we've got 60 thumbs up. We can get some more on there. That would be great. Sorry, guys. I'm just farting around with my program here. I have a 17 Mazda CX-9. Lease is coming up and thinking of getting a Kia Palisade. What are your thoughts? Other good options? Well, you've kind of confused two things there. It's the Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride. And I think the honest truth is those two vehicles, and you've kind of combined them there, are the ones to beat in the mid-size three-row utility space. So, and back to the question we had earlier about the best three-row utility under $60,000, you could easily get a fully loaded Palisade or Telluride. They fully loaded are around 53 or 5, somewhere in the Canadian market. So yeah, I have absolutely no problem recommending either of them. I think that they're fantastic choices. Looking at 2021 Toyota Venza Limited Hybrid, CX-9, CX-5 Signature, RAV4 Hybrid, possibly entry SUV. Reliability, lower cost maintenance and repairs, and comfort are key. Well, if you're just talking about maintenance, low cost, comfort, the Venza is going to do that all day long. If you're looking for smooth, quiet, comfortable, relaxed, easy place to live, Venza is a good place to start. And a RAV4 hybrid, which is what it's based on, would also be a great choice. So I think those two are probably really good choices. So someone's replying to the Cherokee question. Reliability, typically not good on Cherokee. They have transmission issues with their 9-speed auto. Now, yes, that has been the case, and this is one of the things that a lot of people fall into the trap with. So you hear about a problem with a vehicle, and it sticks with that vehicle for many, many years. Even though the manufacturer might have made changes, or there's software updates, or there's been some problems with it that have been fixed as the years have gone by. But that initial negative reaction to the car or issues with the car linger with it for a long period of time. So It's good to do more research. So the initial question was 2017 or 2018 Cherokee. Go and find a Cherokee web forum and find out for yourself, for example, if the 9-speed automatic has been updated, if there's been software updates or any changes to it that maybe affect the way it runs. Excuse me. Got a drink of water here. Is Neo the real deal? Look like sales are picking up. How do they compare to Tesla? And what do you think of the odds of seeing it outside of China? Well, it's interesting because when I was at the Shanghai Motor Show a year or so ago, the one booth that I was really impressed with was the Neo booth. A Neo, if you don't know, is an electric car maker in China. And the interesting thing is that they brought out two SUVs, sort of a larger SUV and a smaller SUV, and they're smart because that's what. And the other thing is they're really nicely designed. They're good-looking vehicles, and that's another trend I saw in China. Is a lot of the domestic Chinese car brands, a lot of their cars are really nicely designed. It seems like they've turned the corner, and it is the real deal. Will we see them outside of China? I think that's a long play. They don't really need to leave China because the Chinese market is going to be so big, or it is so big, and they're doing a big push for electrification. So I think Neo probably is going to have its hands full if they get some real traction with their brand, fulfilling their Chinese orders. Will they eventually come to North America or other places? I could see them coming under license, maybe. Another brand would license their technology and sell them. This used to happen regularly in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You might remember that Dodge used to bring over loads of Mitsubishis and sell them as Dodge products. I could see that totally happening with a brand like Dodge going to Neo and saying, hey, listen, let's get some of your products here into North America and we'll license that technology from you. But it does look like they have turned the corner and they are going to be a threat in China, at least initially. My GLB has got delayed 5 months due to COVID-19. Is this the case with all manufacturers? Well, I think probably if you had an initial order for it back before COVID hit, then everything was shut down for several months and they're starting to make them again. I don't know why it would still be delayed 5 months. Did you order it right now? Maybe if you ordered it 5 months from when, like before COVID hit. Considering replacing Elantra GT Sport hatch, upset that they discontinued it with the new 2021 Subaru Crosstrek. Does the new engine with 182 gave it the life that Crosstrek needed? I would suggest that compared to your Elantra GT Sport, it's not going to feel like that. It isn't. It makes the Crosstrek feel, in my opinion, how it should. That's how the car should feel. It isn't like, you can go and watch my review of it from a couple of weeks ago. It isn't kind of a kick you in the seat of the pants kind of power. It just makes it the car better, and in my opinion, how it kind of should drive. It's not going to feel like your Elantra GT. And I think that car is probably going to come back because they've gone to all this N-line over the last little while. So try it, see what you think. I don't think you're going to feel, because it's got a continuously variable transmission, that it's going to feel like your car. Other options would be like the Civic hatch, but if you're looking for the all-wheel drive, you're going to be looking at probably more expensive vehicles. I think Mercedes has watered down the AMG brand. I remember when the AMG Hammer 300e with a V8 back in the 80s were very exclusive. Well, that was basically a hand-assembled car. If you're not aware, the Hammer originally, the AMG partnership with Mercedes-Benz to create the V8 engine, the body of the car was actually made by Porsche. So they had a crosstown collaboration in Stuttgart. So Mercedes-Benz working in with their partners in Avaltebach, which is where AMG is headquartered, and then the body with the flared fenders was done by Porsche. A very collectible and quite rare car. Now, I wish I had bought one 20 years ago when they really weren't worth that much, but now they're worth a lot of money. So you have to remember that AMG in the 80s, when they brought out the Hammer, wasn't part of Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz only brought AMG into the fold within the last 20 years, and it might only be within the last 15 years. It used to be a totally separate company. So they would do these collaborations with them, but it wasn't part of Daimler. And now it is. And yes, it could be argued that they've diluted the AMG brand, but what I've seen is sort of this badging of their cars and diluting it, and now I'm starting to see it kind of coming up the other way, where they their cars that have the AMG brand typically are much more enthusiast pointed transmissions, suspension, and so on. So the last few AMG light cars, the C-Class, the 43, the GLC 43, and so on, were surprisingly sharp cars to drive. So I'll give them a little bit of credit for that. But I agree with you. It's not the exclusive brand it used to be. Same thing with BMW M. I owned a 1988 M6. When that car was sold in Canada, it was one of 35 in the whole country. It was a black on black and had a silver pinstripe down the side. And I bought the car when it was 6 years old, maybe. Now, that is rare. One of 35 in the whole country. And now M is stuck on everything. So it's the same thing. Thoughts on the 2021 Q7, considering the 2021 Q7 and Acura MDX? I don't see any changes for the Q7 from what I can see. So that's just a carried over model. The MDX is going to be coming, and it looks really good. And I'm driving the new TLX this week, and the interior and the finish and the way it looks fantastic. I think they did a really good job with this car. So if that's the direction that Acura is going, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Mark 8 Golf R debuts November 4th. I know, that's exciting. Hey Zach, what are your thoughts on the RS6 Avant? I would be like, if you can get an RS6 Avant, it would be in your interest to get one. If you can afford it and you can get allocation, hell yeah. The other one is the E63S AMG wagon. There was one parked down the street the other day. Same thing, walking the dog. There it was. And I said to Andrea, I go, that is the sportiest of the sport utility vehicles. The E63S AMG wagon is fantastic. But yeah, the RS6 Avant is just drop dead gorgeous. With those big wheels, oh, that's just sex on wheels. When Jack is ready to drive, could you do a family review of you and Andrea on the GV80 Cadillac Escalator new Wagoneer when they are available? I have to check with the manufacturers about what the age limit is. He's probably, if there's like a 21 year, you have to be 21. It wouldn't work. So we'll have to wait and I'll have to look at the paperwork. Rob is here. Super chat. Cheers from Seattle. Loving all the new content. And how can one go wrong with Andrea as a co-pilot? Well, I would agree with that. Rob, it's very nice of you to say that. Thank you very much for the super chat. Anybody else want to get a super chat through? You are more than welcome to do that. Please have a look. At the bottom, you'll see the $sign. Type away, and that's how you contribute to the channel. How reliable is the 4-cylinder turbo in the GLC 300? I think it's been pretty good. Same thing again. I mean, I don't follow the individual repair record for every car. If you're concerned about that, find a Mercedes-Benz web forum, have a look for yourself, see what people are saying about it. Typically, it's not the engines with import luxury cars. It's usually some of the other, other things that go wrong with it, electronics, stuff like that. But there you go. I like the GLC a lot. I think it's a really, really good product. It's probably, along with the Q5, probably the best all-rounder. It's just a really nice, well-done SUV. Test drove the new Taycan 4S. Wow, what a car. Never experienced such massive acceleration and amazing handling. Porsche has a winner on its hands. Well, the Taycan is selling incredibly well, not only in North America, but around the world. Then the next Porsche full electric car is going to be a Macan. I'm thinking next year. We have it booked. Let me look at my calendar here when we have it booked. We get it the week of November 23rd. So yeah, we're going to be getting that then. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it. I've already driven the car. I had the Turbo S, and it's the fastest vehicle I've ever driven. I mean, it's just uncanny. A vehicle of that weight, with that handling, that power, and the difference between the Turbo and the Turbo S, I said in my review, it's indetectable for a human being. And what happens when you accelerate away, all your organs get pushed up and your blood goes back. And as a passenger, you can feel a little nauseous. Same thing again, though. That party trick of just flat out acceleration is fun for a week or so. But after a while, that's not how you drive your car. You don't drive your car like hitting it all the way to the floor all the time. It just, people don't do that. Once in a while, yeah, but not all the time. Here's a very good question and timely. Hi, Zach. When are we reviewing the Nissan Rogue? Thanks. This week. So, yeah, it's going to be coming. And the review will drop next Monday. Okay? So stay tuned for that. Thoughts on the all-new Chevy Trailblazer? I liked it a lot. I think I liked it more than Andrea. I think it's quite a little machine. You know what? With a 1.3-liter turbo, 3-cylinder engine to have 100, off the top of my head, 155 horsepower and even more torque is, yeah, it's quite a little machine. And it's got a 9-speed automatic transmission. It comes standard in Canada with wireless Android and Apple and wireless charging pad. It's got a lot of really good content. I liked it a lot. Now, the big issue I have with a lot of domestic brands is when you start going and adding on all the features, holy crap, that thing can get expensive in a hurry. So it's one of those things I would almost guarantee if you wait 6 or 8 months and the Trailblazer has been out for a while, you know, GM is notorious for having rebates and discounts on their cars. That's when you're going to get a better deal on one and maybe get a nicer equipped one for less money. But I thought it was really quite good. Love your toy collection. Yeah, let me just so I went through all of these old cars that I had. Oh, I found another one. Hold on, watch this. You guys might like this. I found this. This is an old one, a 1990 Lamborghini Diablo. Look at the dust. That was like brand new. And then I have some other trucks. Yeah, I used to play with these all the time. I don't think, do kids play with cars anymore? I don't know. This is before the internet. Before, my kids can't even imagine what life was like before the internet. Like, what did you do? It's crazy. Used to have a little remote control. And the other thing is the remote control, I still call it the clicker, because back in the old days, you used to go click, 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 and you'd be like, where's the clicker? So young people today don't call it a clicker either. Can you talk about the M3 and the M4 grills? Yeah, they're kind of frickin' ugly initially. Now, I am going to warn you, and I think that this will probably happen to you too. I find that when a new provocative, avant-garde, maybe ugly design comes out in a car, initially you're like, holy crap, what were they thinking? But then as the months go by, and you see more and more of them on the road, and you kind of get used to the design, the older car, the one that's out now, looks old, and the new one looks kind of different and fresh. Now, that might not be the case. That might not happen, but I typically find that vehicles, they look better in person than they do in pictures. So we'll have to wait and see. We have another super chat, I believe. All right. Any meaningful differences in dynamics for the Miata Club or GT? Drove the Roadster and loved it. Prefer the looks of the RF if that matters. Only drove the GT Roadster so far. I'm not sure what you mean by Miata Club or GT. I don't think there's any changes from what I understand for this upcoming year, unless I'm missing something. If yeah, the MX-5 is just pure fun and joy and density of thought that went into such a little tidy package of perfection. So I'm not sure if I missed something there with an update for 2021, unless you're in another area they have different names. I don't like the looks of the RF. I know I'm an outlier on that. I know most people like the RF. I just does nothing for me. Why do all automotive journalists dislike CVTs? Do you guys all get together and decide as a group? Just kidding, of course. Well, Stephen, I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of CVTs, but we just bought a car with a CVT. We bought a 2017 Honda Civic as a family vehicle that we're all going to be sharing. Actually, the last 2 weeks we've been driving it quite a bit. We needed an extra vehicle. Someone hit the back of our Cayenne, so the bumper's getting repainted. Not a big deal, but it just has to get redone. So the car's been sort of off, and we've been driving the Civic a lot. And Andrew and I are both, it's a really good little car. You know what? It's fine. It's when you're talking to people that are on a live show like this, typically are more enthusiast minded. Okay? So the Civic is not my main daily driver. Okay? It's an extra car that we have in the family. We're fortunate enough that we have 3 cars. So we have our Porsche Cayenne. I have my Toyota Tacoma. By the way, I put it out on Instagram today, a picture of my Tacoma. I took a whole bunch of stuff to the dump. I was telling you I was cleaning out the house, and I found all these old things. Yeah, so I get the CVT thing is very practical and fuel efficient, but if it was my only car that I had, and it was just me driving it, and it was somebody like myself that's maybe a little bit more sort of enthusiast minded, it wouldn't be a CVT. But as an extra car that's good for everybody to drive and great for my kids to learn on, there's absolutely no problem with it. Do you think the Corolla Cross Hybrid is going to make it to North American shores in the next few years? Looks really good. I agree with you. It's one of the best looking Toyotas that come out in the last little while, but only Toyota knows. I mean, a lot of these things are kept really, really quiet. Oh, there's one other thing I found when I was cleaning up the house. I got to find it, because Yuri from the Straight Pipes is going to want this. So I remember, I'm not sure if you know, but Yuri has a Plymouth Prowler that he bought, and he always wanted one. And I said, why? I said, why do you want that? Yuri just likes to stand out. He's a bit of a showboater. You all know that if you watch the Straight Pipes. And I said to him, I was at the launch of the Prowler at the Detroit Auto Show, and they gave these out. And I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't find it. I said, you can have it. And now I found it, and in here you pull out this package, and inside is, wait for it, look at that beauty, it's the Prowler. So what do you guys think I should ask for this? For if I'm going to give it to Yuri, what should I get in return? I should get something, don't you think? That's pretty cool. I mean, it's the original. It even has inside all the original literature. It comes with a pin. The Prowler comes with a Prowler pin. That's the real deal, man. That's direct from the Detroit Auto Show. So there you go. What do you guys think I should ask? I sent Jacob a text, and he said burn it. Oh, here's all the stuff in here. Here's all the press material on it. Look at that. Plymouth Prowler. That's got to be. He's going to want that, isn't he? All the stats on the back. That's pretty slick. I knew I kept it for a reason. Either that or be a hoarder. There you go. What do you think? All right. I got some other things I found too. I'll do a little show and tell. Oh, one more thing before I go. I just realized I have this. This is kind of cool. This is Matthew Sweet, vinyl LP, signed Actually, he signed a poster for me. That's from Matthew Sweet. But this is what I found that was kind of neat. I kept the newspaper from January 1st of 2000. So that's the Millennium Edition. I don't know why. I'm going to keep these things. 2022 GTI, yay or nay? Well, Chris, nobody's driven it yet. I've driven the regular new Mark 8 Golf, and I'm not loving the interior as much because they've gotten rid of a lot of switches and buttons. But there you go. It's going to be a new Golf. It's going to be a new GTI. It's going to be better, right? Every time they come out with a GTI, it's typically better. So we'll wait till we drive it. But there you go. Nissan CVTs are a great example of reputation following them, even though the latest JD Power seems to say they're less problematic. Nissan is mentioned with transmission issues. I would totally agree with this. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. So the early hangover that they had with the reputation of their CVTs is haunting them today. I've driven the new Sentra. The new Sentra, in my opinion, drives really well. I'm going to get the Rogue to drive. I'm sure it's going to drive really well. So yes, just because it still has the same three letters, CVT, doesn't mean it's exactly the same. There's been modifications and updates to these things as they go along. Hey, Zach, the redesigned QX60 looks beautiful. Do you think it's another Infinity concept to never hit the dealer lots, or can we expect it for sale soon? Excuse me. That's what happens when I drink beer on the live show. Now, the big difference between what Infinity did and what Acura did is quite different. So, Infinity showed us a concept, okay? Acura last week showed us a prototype. So when they show you the prototype, that's pretty much how it's going to be fully baked. There might be some very slight modifications to wheels and what have you, but that is the way the Acura MDX is going to look. So when Infinity comes with a QX60 concept, they're kind of trying to read the tea leaves a little bit and get some reaction. I would suggest that a lot of the design elements are in there, but what the final product looks like, we're going to have to wait and see. I would find it really disappointing if they don't come with something that looks close to that, because I think there's been a great reaction to it, and they would be in their best interest to do it, because I agree with you. I think it looks really, really nice. To find where I was. John says, opinion on Acura SUVs. I like the RDX A-Spec. MDX looks like the Mazda. Yes, it kind of has that sort of swept back CX-9 look. I think when you see it, it's probably going to be, it's going to just stink of Acura. It's going to look like Acura. I like the RDX a lot. Same thing. There's a model that when it first came out, it did have some teething problems. Hopefully Acura's improved them. There's lots of stories around issues with the first batches of RDXs. But yeah, I like the direction that Acura is going. Like the RDX, when it came out, very strong effort in terms of design, interior updates, handling was good. This new TLX certainly looks really good. I like the one we have is the A-Spec. The MDX looks fantastic. So, the good thing is that they're turning the corner and they're bringing Type S's and all kinds of different versions, and the pricing seems to be quite good as well. So I think good days ahead for Acura. But that's, you know what brings this all about? Competition. Who comes out and, throws down the gauntlet? Genesis. And Acura's like, okay, we got to up our game. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Elbow cough, elbow cough. There's nobody here. There's just you and me. You can't get anything from me. How much is Kia and Hyundai paying you to say nice things? Might as well throw your money in the toilet. Well, Joey, that's a stupid thing to say. Have you actually looked at any of the reviews of the latest Kia and Hyundai products? Have you looked at the JD Power quality scores, their dependability scores? They're at the very top for the last several years. So that's just a stupid comment. I mean, have you driven a Hyundai or a Kia product ever? Ever? Have you driven any new Hyundai or Kia products? I have. And I'm here to tell you, they are making some excellent cars. So for you to just to say it's like throwing your money away, that's just dumb. That's stupid. Look at the sales of the Palisade and the Telluride. They're shooting the lights out with that thing. Is a used GLI 2012 worth it as a first car? I have no issue with the GLI as a car. I have an issue with maybe an 8-year-old GLI as a car. So please, I don't know the mileage on it, the condition of it. This is a perfect example is you have to do your homework and do it hard. Make sure the vehicle is inspected by someone that knows Volkswagens. Please, please, please have it inspected. Do a lot of cross shopping. Look up on web forums for particular issues on that car. But that is a car that if you're maybe stretching to buy it as your first car, you have to have a budget also to maintain it and keep it running. And an 8-year-old Volkswagen is out of warranty, and now it's all on your wallet. Okay, so please be aware of that. Get the vehicle checked out. James is here with a cheers. Nice to see you, James. Thank you very much. Gotta find where I was again. When I get these super chats, I gotta go down to the bottom. Do you think Toyota will ever address the buffeting issue with the Supra? The whole point of driving a car in the summer is driving with the windows down. Is this a deal? Is this a make or break deal for me? When did I drive it? I drove in the fall, I think. I didn't drive it with the windows down. So buffeting in a car is that air that thunders against your eardrums. It's a horrible thing. I didn't drive it with the windows down, so I didn't notice. Yeah. So try it out, and if it's no good, maybe try the BMW and see if it's the same way. Do you think Infiniti will survive? Well, just looking at what they're doing with Nissan and the effort that is going into their newest batch of products and what they, in my opinion, have been able to do is really quite strong. Like, I think that the Sentra that just came out in the last 8-10 months is a perfect example of the direction they're going and what they're doing right. And this Rogue, I'm going to be really interested to drive it. So if they're doing that with their mainline brand and can really do some strong product, then I think that there is some hope for Infiniti. That concept that we just talked about with the XC60, if they can bring something to market that is price competitive, especially price competitive, and looks like that, then there is hope. That's their best-selling vehicle. The XC60 is their, not the XC60, QX60 is their best. I got Volvo on the brain. The QX60 is their best-selling product. They have to get that one right. So if they do, then yes, there is some hope. Porsche Cayenne Turbo Coupe tops a GLS 63S any day. I wasn't talking about the GLE, I was talking about the E-Class, the E63S, the E-Class wagon, the station wagon, not the SUV. The E63AS AMG wagon, hello, that is a baller car. Should I buy an imported Forester XT or a Toyota Highlander? Well, a Highlander is a 3-row midsize utility. A Forester is a compact utility. So first you've got to figure that part out. Do you need the 3 rows and the extra space? Well, if that's the case, then you're going to get the Toyota. Now, if you're looking for a Forester XT, just buy a used one. They're out there, and if you keep looking, you find one that's got low mileage. That might not be a bad way to go. What do you think of the new 400Z or the 400Z? I think it looks great. I'm an outlier on this. A lot of people didn't like the front of it. Now that, by the way, was a concept. There's another perfect example of what Nissan is doing right. Now that was a concept vehicle. That wasn't the final production version. Now that's also reading the tea leaves, getting feedback from everybody. Then they can massage how it's going to look. It's going to look very close to that, and I think it looks good. I like it. I like the fact that they're doing something. I mean, that car was left on the vine way too long. This is one of the problems you see with a lot of brands. They just leave cars for too long, and then they try to do something to resurrect it. It never really works. Handsome Dan, I love the other host of this channel. Do you think she will have her own channel someday? She can sell anything I would buy if she sells. It is good. Well, Handsome Dan, I'll let her know that. But, you know, it is my wife, and we are a team, and you can't get rid of me that fast. When is the new Golf R going to land in Canada? So the original plan was for the new Golf to arrive next summer, and the GTI and the Golf R to arrive within, a month or so. The Golf is not going to be coming. It's going to be Golf R and GTI, and they will be arriving late summer or September of next year. So basically less than a year to go now until we get the GTI and the Golf R. So those vehicles are now being made in Wolfsburg in Germany and imported into Canada. The factory that used to make the Golf is now going to be making the Taos, this new small SUV, and they're going to need a lot of capacity for that. The Beetle has gone away, so the Wolfsburg plant in Germany is the largest of the Volkswagen plants, and the second largest Volkswagen plant is Puebla, Mexico, which is where they make all of those other vehicles. And then they add in, for North America, Atlas, and the new ID electric cars will be made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, end of next summer. What are your thoughts on Tesla Cybertruck sales in Canada? Well, when they actually have a truck to sell, I'll believe it. This is one of the problems with Tesla. They do eventually get around to sort of doing what they say, but I don't know. Why? I know why they're doing a truck. It's because trucks are the biggest selling vehicles in North America. I'm not sure it's what real truck owners are looking for, but we'll have to wait and see. Little late, just put a deposit on something new. I can't spend another winter in northern Alberta with front wheel drive. Something Zach and Andrea drove, same color even. We've driven a lot of cars, James. I need a little more than that. Will there be any go back on 1.5 engine in the CRV in the future? I don't know. We have to wait for the new CRV. I would suspect no. Hey, Zach, I read somewhere that 2019-20 BMW 535/40 beats Lexus in terms of predicted reliability. Is that true, that BMW really upped their game in reliability? That might be the case, but I will tell you what they're not winning on, and that is resale value. BMW 5 Series are just not great for resale. So yes, they might be making a better car than they ever have, but there's not a big market for those cars. The 3 Series has gotten so big. People are moving away from SUVs. You want to buy a car and get a steep discount on it, then buy a 2-year-old BMW 5 Series. But know that it's going to continue to depreciate. So yeah, it could be a much better car, but the whole thing about ownership is what I call dollars in, dollars out. There's going to be not much dollars out. You're going to put money in to buy the car, and then you're going to sell it 4 years from down the road, and it's not going to be worth much. The Lexus will be worth more. Well, that's right. The Hummer EV reveal is tomorrow. Yes, that's going to be interesting to watch. Handsome Dan, does this channel have a P.O. box? We fans want to send gifts of model cars and gifts. Well, the gift you can do is a super chat. That's the gift of cash. I do not need more model cars. I have got loads of those. Okay, we have been going at this now for an hour, and you know what it is tonight, friends? Barbecued ribs. Oh yeah, barbecued ribs. So the only thing between me and barbecued ribs is winding down this live chat. So thanks to everybody that came on board, and especially those that did the live chat. Please sign up to Car Cost Canada. Use the promo code Motormouth. Become an expert member. I will see you back here next Monday. Lots of videos coming out in the next little while. We're going to have, what do we have? We have the Porsche Cayenne Coupe. We have the Trailblazer from Chevrolet. We have the TLX. We have a Volvo XC90. We have a Rogue. It's all coming up in the next several weeks, plus some extras like I've got 911 Turbo, 2007. I've got a 1969 Shelby Mustang GT500 that's going to come out tomorrow. So there's going to be lots of stuff on the channel, and of course the live chat here every single Monday. So thank you for watching. I will chat with you later. Enjoy the rest of your night, and talk to you soon. Bye now.